I know it's a hot take. You're probably
we're about to be all over the internet. This is about the clips and everywhere.
I want all the smoke. Bring it. What I want us to focus on here, Austin, is not necessarily the bracket. If we have the whole bracket, if we have some time at the end, we can. But what I want to know from you is what you think about Auburn's path. They are in the South region, which means that they will get to play, in theory, in the Atlanta Sweet 16 and Elite 8, which is very favorable, and I'm planning on being there, hopefully, if I can afford it.
Got to get there.
Got to get there first. So let's talk about it first. Auburn will play the winner of Alabama State and St. Francis. Can we both agree that we are rooting for Alabama State because we love supporting these teams from Alabama? Can we agree on that?
We love supporting teams from in the state, but
you and me are going to have this.
I think it'll be great. Whoever wins, Auburn will be a great 16 seed. Look, it starts to weird me out in tournaments like these where there's like high stakes, and the higher team has all the more to lose. Alabama State's going to want to beat Auburn because they're a 1 seed no matter what. So it's St. Francis, if that's who it ends up being. But Alabama State's right down the road. They're a little bit of, they're the smaller in-state school, a little bit added things. If St. Francis were to beat them, I wouldn't be upset. However, this is a game Auburn should take care of business with. You can get a lot of things worked out against here. 16 seeds have beaten once. We've all seen that in the last 5-10 years now. However, this should be a game Auburn wins and can work some things out. Whoever it might be, we'll find out on, I guess, Tuesday night is when the first 4 starts.
Yes, the first 4 will be on Tuesday and Wednesday night, and Auburn will play this matchup Thursday at 2:50 Eastern time, I believe. Yep. Eastern time. So keep that in mind, folks, for your viewing pleasure in the Lexington Regional. So Alabama State, I'm pulling for you. I'm not scared of you. I want to see you. We'll see what happens with that. So the way we're going to look at this is not necessarily a prediction from us, folks. We're just kind of walking through what could Auburn's path be. And boy, what a round of 32. You got to either take on Creighton or you got to take on Louisville in Lexington. For those of you that need geography, that's just down the road for them. I mean, could they have messed up Auburn even in any more than they did in this region?
No. It definitely, it stinks.
We haven't even got to the bad parts yet, but this is the first bad one.
It looks like there could be a chance they're playing a straight road game in the round of 32 if Louisville were to win. Now, to play devil's advocate here, and the flip side of the coin is Auburn got to play Houston in Birmingham 2 years ago. And so maybe all things come back around. But it's not totally unprecedented. However, it'll be rough. Regardless of who wins that game,
it'll be rough and rough. Matchup. Is that what you're saying?
Rough and rough. There you go. Yep. But maybe we have some rough magic against their rival if it's Louisville. However, I think whoever wins that game is going to be tough. Both those teams were in their conference tournament championships, and both have storied careers or storied programs and have success. So that's going to be a tough round of 32 matchup for Auburn, no matter who ends up being in it. But certainly would love to not have the road team against us straight from the jump.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So whoever it is, we're going to, again, proceed as we've instructed you guys, assuming Auburn wins, just to talk about the potential path. What that means if Auburn were to make it to the Sweet 16, they then move into an opportunity to basically have home games based on how easy the travel would be going to Atlanta for Auburn and Auburn fans. Now, this means you have the potential to play some of these teams. Michigan with Trey Donaldson, former Auburn Tiger, who's doing pretty well for them.
Won the Big Ten championship. Yep.
Just won one of the better conferences championship. UC San Diego could be someone. Texas A&M could be there. Their offensive rebound and prowess gave Auburn fits and started this little, what people are calling a slump for Auburn. And then can we go ahead and say it? And I think somebody probably snickered real quick when they were making this. Yale. How we feel about that? That's your potential Sweet 16.
It's a headline and storyline row for Auburn outside of UC San Diego. Maybe there's a connection there somewhere with Auburn, but Michigan, Texas A&M, and Yale all certainly have Auburn connections, whether it be a former player, a former opponent, a former loss. So regardless, if Auburn can get to the Sweet 16, like you said, in Atlanta, that matters. That would be big against all these opponents. But there's certainly storylines to talk about. I like the idea of getting another chance at A&M with Denver and with a arena with a little more Auburn fans in it. I think that could be a really intriguing matchup. And then also, Yale is hot. Yale won their conference championship today, I think. So some revenge in Atlanta against Yale wouldn't be bad either. But the storylines write themselves, don't they?
And it's not done yet, folks. We ain't done yet. So let's just assume that we rebound well against Texas A&M, or we don't get Trey Donaldson getting a little comeuppance against his former team, or Yale. Let's just assume Auburn goes to the Elite Eight, still in Atlanta, and Kyle's there having the time of his life. You've got to play these are your potential teams that you could be playing. San Diego State or North Carolina, Ole Miss, Iowa State, Lipscomb, Marquette, New Mexico, or Bryant, or the one thing I tell you folks, every single March Madness bracket is do not count out Tom Izzo, Michigan State. Is it anybody other than Michigan State from that side of the bracket, Austin?
It's March, so it certainly could be. I'm not going to rule out Tom Izzo, certainly at all. I think his team will be in contention all the way. But, I mean, look at that group too, though. You look at the storylines or the former matchups. We talked all season. We have talked for months about the non-conference schedule and the conference schedule Auburn played. It ended up being, I think, strength of record or strength of schedule ended up being number 2 overall in the country. They scheduled hard. And based on the tournament and based on the teams that made it in, all those teams ended up being just as good as the final 68 they got here. So Ole Miss, North Carolina, Iowa State, are 3 on that bottom half, and then we go up and count Texas A&M as well. Those are 4 teams in your region you already played this year. That's a quarter of the region. So just crazy to think about that Auburn's schedule they couldn't be more prepared, right, for this kind of region. But whoever comes out of it, whether it be Michigan State or Iowa State or a Cinderella story somewhere, it's difficult. Certainly is. I think the whole tournament is, but I could definitely see Michigan State and Bruce Pearl and Auburn setting up a Bruce Pearl versus Tom Izzo matchup in Atlanta. Kyle, if you're there, you're probably have a second mortgage on your house.
Yeah, let's not talk about that or let my wife hear about that. I'm trying to be there. But let me ask you this. Do you think it is most likely Auburn and Michigan State in that Elite Eight game in Atlanta?
So Auburn, Michigan State, or the field?
No, in that Elite Eight game to go to the Final Four, is it Auburn versus Michigan State? Are those the two that are playing for that? Do you think? I know I'm putting you on the spot. Maybe bracket's not ready yet as of this moment.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
Okay, little mystery there.
We'll see.
I am going to predict right now it is Auburn and Michigan State, and I am not so certain that Auburn can get out of this region. But let me put it to you this way.
Kyle loves Tom Izzo. Hold
on. Let me just put it this way. If Auburn gets out of this region, they will win the national championship. Ooh. That is I'm going with it. If Auburn gets out of this region with what they have to face, storylines, matchup favorability,
Florida's on that bottom half.
I get it. I hear you. If Auburn gets on a streak and goes through this region, Auburn's winning the national title. You can write it down right now and come back.
So if Auburn gets to San Antonio, they're coming home with the trophy.
If Auburn gets to San Antonio and gets through this region, they are national champions, in my opinion. I know it's a hot take. You're probably
we're about to be all over the internet. This is about to clips and everywhere.
That's fine. Go ahead and clip it. I don't care.
When your Alabama State Hornets upset us in the first round, this is going to be clipped everywhere.
I want all the smoke. Bring it. Bring me the smoke. I don't care. As my voice cracks still from being sick a little bit. Okay, so there you go. There's Auburn's path. We at least discussed it to the Final Four.